YouTube, Coach Rudy back with another video. How'd you like that video title? Slyvester Stallone told me which muscle to build to look my best all the time. True story. Back in the 90s, I was acting in TV and film. Wasn't very good, or I'd probably still be doing it. Well, that's not entirely true. Let me tell you a quick story before I tell you what Stallone told me. Back in the 90s, there was a film, part 2 of The Matrix, that came out. If you know anything about Hollywood, here's how you get into a film. You're an agent, you have an agent, you're an actor in Hollywood, and a role is called, right? They get the breakdowns of the script, and then they put out these characters they're looking for. All right, so for example, I was one of the agents. Remember Agent Smith? So I was supposed to be one of the agents, or auditioning or reading for one of the agents. And out of that, there was probably 200 or 300 actors in my, they're asking for a white guy, this size, this tall, with this look. And I guess I fit that initially. So I went through the audition process, and then in film, you do an audition, and then you get a callback, which means, so it goes from 100 actors to 50, then they call back 50, just give you a number. And then from there, you get maybe a second callback, and there's 20. And then finally, you go to producers. In this case, I went straight to the director, the Wachowski brothers, who are now the Wachowski sisters. It's a different story. So I got all the way to the very last thing, and it came down between me and one other actor, and his name was Daniel Bernard, who actually was a friend of mine. And Daniel was a great martial artist, super good-looking guy. Better looking than me, if you can believe it. I even had hair back then, but better looking than me, if you can believe it, and just really fit the part perfectly. So as I was walking out the audition, the Wachowski brothers said, "I really like your work, I like your tape, we like what you do, we'll get back to you." So I walked out of that office going, I'm going to be in a new Matrix, amazing. And that was 4 or 5 years after Jerry Bruckheimer and the director Michael Bay gave me my first film gig. Taft taught me, got me into union and all this, and I thought, man, I did little bit parts up until this. I thought, this is going to launch me. And then a week later, I get a call, I didn't make it. Daniel Bernard got the job, and Daniel has a big career even today. So that's my Matrix story, my Hollywood story. Another time, I was talking to Slyvester Stallone, and we're talking about training, because he's a training nut. And I remember he said the muscle most important was the forearm. So if you ever see a picture of Stallone walking down the street with his sleeves rolled up to here, he's got these great forearms, vascular forearms, looks like a monster. And it's funny, I was looking at some old pictures the other day of old actors, and Charles Bronson was walking down Sunset Boulevard, right close to where I used to live. Same thing, had his forearms look magnificent. So the forearm muscle, if you're wearing a shirt, pops and makes you look amazing. Anyway, that's my Hollywood story. Now, the point of this video is, I've trained a few celebrities since I opened my own gym. And one thing I've learned, or one thing I already knew, is the workout, I give them to look really good. I want to give it to you. And here's what it consists of. All right, I came in today. If you can do chin-ups, I want you to do chin-ups. If you can't do chin-ups, you're going to do close grip, supinated pull-downs on the lat machine, right? So first thing I did a shoulder press with a chin-ups. I actually did chin-ups. I've dropped from 235 to 205, so I can actually do a chin-up now, thank God. Let me start over. I did a set of dumbbell presses. Now, in strength training, they said they're going to be heavy, lower reps, or it's going to be a little bit lighter, higher reps. So in this exercise, or this workout today, I did a higher rep scheme because number one, I was working shoulders. And shoulders, believe it or not, are kind of fragile. They're not as strong or as sturdy as the hips. They can be a little more fragile because that shoulder joint is so shallow. So I was doing dumbbell presses. I used to do barbell overhead presses. The most I could ever do was like 200 pounds. And I can't do that now to save my life. So I'm doing dumbbell presses. And so I did high reps. I did 20-pound dumbbells for 20 reps. I did 25-pound dumbbells for 17 reps. I kind of play a rep game with myself. We'll think of it as reverse pyramid. 20 for 20, 25 for 17, 30 for 14, 35 for 11, and then I did a set of 40-pound dumbbells for 8. So that's a lot of reps, super light, none of it was hard, But when I got through those 5 sets with all those reps, my shoulders were like, boom, they were pumped, great. So I did a superset of the shoulder press with the chin pull, or with the chin ups. So I did 5 sets of 5 on the chins, superset with those shoulder presses I told you about. All right, so good. So that's my big part of the workout. Then I did preacher curl, or not preacher curl, spider curls. If you don't know what spider curls are, look them up on YouTube. It's sort of like where you hang over and do curls like this, almost a concentration curl. So I did 5 sets of spider curls. I did the same thing, 20, 17, 14, 11, 8, with the same weights, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40. I did a superset with that with tricep pushdowns, or actually tricep extensions, overhead tricep extensions. Same thing, 5 sets, 20, 17, 14, 11, and 8. It's a lot of reps, it's a lot of volume, almost too much, but I really like a lot of volume sometimes, especially when I'm working single joint exercises, biceps, triceps, shoulders. So I really dug it. So if you did that, oh, and to finish, I did 5 sets of 20 sets of abs. So I did my ab work too. So if you got your abs tightened up, you got your shoulders pumped, you got your biceps bulging, you got your triceps hanging, like Stallone said, you're gonna look really good. Didn't do any forearm work. When the rest of it looks so good, you don't need a forearm work. All right, that's my story. Listen, I hope you listened to the whole thing. If you did, subscribe, like, leave me a comment, ask me a question. I got so many stories about Hollywood when I was acting, so many. Anyway, that's there, we're here. I'll talk to you next time. All right.